What up, YouTube? Dead Poop 420 here. Well, let me tell y'all the time where I got a speeding ticket when I was in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. So I lived up there for a little bit doing construction and whatnot, and I needed a vehicle, so I got a 1984 Chevette from my boss. Yeah, the Carfax on this old '84 Chevette is pretty impressive. My boss's dad, he went to Vegas, and back in 1984 on the showroom floor, this car spinning around on a slot machine. He pulls the old one-armed bandit machine, and bing, bing, bing. He won the car. So he drove it around for a while, and then he got something newer, and then it went to the grandson, and he primed it. He paint primed it, but he abandoned that and decided to get something, I guess, a little cooler in his opinion. But that old '84 Chevette ain't nothing cooler than that old beast. By the time I got it, it was still mint. The body was mint. Everything was mint on it. But it was like a flat, dull gray primer. I guess the grandson was gonna maybe use the car, but it wasn't cool enough for him, I guess. But just right for me. So after a little bit, I wanted to put a little. After a bit, I wanted to sprucing the old car up and add my own little twist to it. So I went to my coworker's garage, and I bought a bunch of spray paint, and I masking taped up the hood, and so anyways, I sprayed painted the car, and man, barely done, and he's like, "Oh man, I gotta go." So he's kicking me out of his garage, and it's starting to rain, it's starting to spit out a little bit, and I was like, "Oh geez, man, it's gonna ruin my paint that I just painted my car." So I'm, hurrying to get home, and boom, right there's a speed trap. Cops flagged me over, and they asked me, So the cop asked, "Man, what's the hurry, young man?" And I told him, "Man, I just finished painting this sweet paint job on my car, and I don't wanna ruin it." And he kind of looks at me weird, the cop, and he's like, "Wah!" Starts laughing. I was like, "Oh man, you must think it's a funny paint job or something like that." So at this point, I'm like, "Oh man, I'm not getting a ticket. I'm cool." So he walks away back to his car where his partner's sitting, and he's talking to his partner. Next thing you know, they both come over to my car. I'm like, "Oh man, this can't be good." So he's like, "Oh, do you mind telling my partner why you're speeding back there?" And I said the same thing. I was like, "Look at this sweet paint job. I didn't wanna ruin it. I just wanted to hurry to get home." Now he's like, "Woo!" And the other one's, they're both laughing at me. So I'm like, man, the partner were laughing at me at this point. So I was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, they think this paint job is cheesy. I get it, and it makes sense. I ain't no pro." And they are cheesy flames, but I was proud of them. I thought I was getting out of the ticket because these guys are chuckling so much. But no, they gave me a ticket, $107 fine. But on the ticket where you normally write the car color, it was black. He marked it off, and he wrote red with flames now with a big exclamation mark on the end. So I still had to pay the ticket, but it's a pretty good story. This one time in my Chevette, I was actually driving it back from Saskatchewan to St. John, and pretty much cross country. So I'm tired. I gotta sleep somewheres. So sometimes it'd be on the side of the highway with a wide shoulder. Sometimes it'd be like in a parking lot. But this one time it was like a little trucker stop, and I was parked there, and the cops pulled up And anyways, they knocked on the window, and I was sleeping. I was like, well, they're like, whoa, what you got there? They're alarmed already, and I totally forgot, man. I was like Raphael, like the Ninja Turtles in there. I had this big old sigh, like Raphael, two of them right beside me before I was sleeping. He's like, whoa, well, you can't have that. I was like, man, what's going on? Why are you here? He's like, this is dangerous sleeping on the side of the highway like this. I was like, damn right, that's why I got these sighs. I'd Raphael someone if I have to, or just a deterrent. He's like, take those, put that in your trunk right now. So I got out of the car, put them in my trunk. As soon as my trunk was out, I was like, while we're in here, do you mind if I have a little look-see, maybe for some drugs? I was like, bud, there ain't no drugs in here. Go ahead and look. And truth be told, I just run out, fresh out of pot, so go ahead, bud. So he did a quick looky-loo. Even if I would have had some, I don't think he would have found it. He wasn't too thorough. But anyways, miss you, Chevette. This one time in the old Chevette, this is kind of embarrassing, but well, I don't care. I was driving with a buddy down Rockwood Park, and driving in my Chevette, and I see this female jogging, you know, and like all men, she caught my attention. So I'm like, you know what I mean? Kind of stargazing, you know, well, more like moon gazing, and my attention is, you know, slightly distracted from the road, and woof smash! My Chevette falls off the side of the road into like a 5-foot ditch. I have to get out through the windows. I look over. She's just bent over laughing. I'm embarrassed as heck. I had to get a tow truck to pull me out. But you know what? Once the tow truck pulled that Chevette out of the ditch there, nothing wrong with it. The old Betty took it all. We'll smash! And stirred the key, fine and dandy. Not a thing wrong with it. Miss the old Chevette. Me and the old Chevette splitted ways a few years later. I owed a guy at work about $100, and I offered him, give me $50, call it square, and here's my car. So we took the old Chevette out in the woods and drove it like a four-wheeler. We were in the trails, boop, 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 bing, bang, and rooster tailing, bop, bop, bop. The Chevette had some power, whoop, 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 and then it eventually we shot it up with a potato cannon and R.I.P. on its roof in the woods. So. Sad to see her go, but I had fun saying goodbye. So that's what happened to the old Chevette. Later. That's pretty much my one and only ticket. Well, maybe that I'm willing to disclose. So at any point, if you like this video, you know what to do. Subscribe. Light up that thumb. Heck, leave a comment, why don't you even? Later.